Na eba ne saying at Forson eba ne saying
Ghanaians should give one Ghana cedi each when they buy a liter of fuel so that we can end Dumsor.
This will ensure that Ghana enjoys stable electricity.
E-levy versus Dumsor, there any draconian tax.
I would say that this is very insensitive, and we on the minority side, Mr. Speaker, for this one, kill and
Omodi Dumsor Levy aba. Dumsor Levy. And then uto 1 liter of petrol. 1 cedi no ubetia.
E-levy to D-levy. Ghana be there. Ghana history. Ghana there say assemble pa na say bewu a e dey say kra Ghana asa na call. The majority in parliament once upon a time, the minority in parliament led by the current finance minister Castle Ato Forson. Now Papa Ato Forson ye before say Papa never be the finance minister. Now ono ani penny the boss, the president of the land, John Dramani Mahama. Campaign na no mo ya share Ghana for this food and say the NDC will abolish the e-levy. The NDC will abolish the emission tax, the COVID tax, the betting tax, and some series of other taxes are no more considered say a nuisance taxes. Now, this is not the first time. You know, the MPP led by Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia prior to the 2016 election. Oh, we winning from the NDC. There are some condom taxes, some catalysis taxes, some host of other taxes are almost almost send a nuisance taxes into new. And Ghana, especially when it's involving a political party. Now, at the first in John Mahama, they know me very sure, certain. Say a year there, the e-levy will be abolished and a host of other taxes. Now, the e-levy was the headache for almost every single Ghanaian because Anya no bias and iska. Now, at the first, Eko PMU wo. Vetting committee I saw here we busa and say, Papa at the first ye. Nipo busa so NDC currently ne on the majority leader in parliament. We replace at the Forson as a majority leader in parliament. And the Ato Forson a finance minister as a finance minister designate. Chese yaboni diya na nka yebetima power no say we finance minister no. Mahama yere busa na question say Ato Forson, will you abolish the e-levy? Or sin the Korean company in the e-levy the chrono tax. A tax and yansa be any unim classification will be the e-levy share. Ye.
Will you abolish the e-levy?
Chairman, my position on the e-levy is well known. I do not intend to run from it. I've written articles against the e-levy. I championed opposition against the e-levy. I still stand by them. So, Chairman, the e-levy is neither a direct tax, indirect tax, or an excise tax. I don't know how to classify the e-levy as a tax practitioner. Mr. Chairman, it doesn't mean that I do not recognize that the e-levy brings in certain revenue. But the fact remains that the e-levy retards our progress towards a cash-light economy and the fintech. We need to abolish the e-levy.
We a naked truth on old burger trends. And you know that's a massive billion. Make sure say over subscribe, over like we are share am unya anya bi ahwena. Before that, make sure say ubeja comment or comment section say. After all this reply and the sequence of conversation that any for the you know, and then a new tax waiver they about to Ghana for so tax na idea about na friend energy tax. Now energy tax no MPP for say friend Dumsor tax because obi e didum so tale na ye pa e John Dramani Mahama enti wa ba no so we dum so dia ene na oye dum so tax.
Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 10% withholding tax on winning from lottery, otherwise known as the betting tax. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the electronic transfer levy, e-levy of 1%. We will abolish the emission levy, otherwise as in Wusie tax.
Ato force ya chirechirem, o chirechirem se wie ne se atadwi yate nene. Na eba ne sen. Ato force eba ne sen da benda. Ana obe abolish e-levy. Ho ano sha se listen tin. O say ene free Mary Croy budget ya make yi on April ya so awe na nche bi aso. Ene budget ya make yi free Mary Croy said the president of the land, John Dramani Mahama, Edin in Shakrata, Sankwan dia, Ayemra, betting trust, majority in parliament, ye chem, e-levy, ye chem, emission tax, ye chem, hey, COVID tax, ye chem, let's say ye chem conqua, minkasi chemu, Messi ye chem, Nina ye chem ko sa, ye chem, let's say, be fine. I've heard ye. Ebanizima the finance minister cancel at Forson said no Ukrainian no catch the gather for. Apart from say we twemu no say minority in parliament ye they say na e-levy we twemu COVID tax we twemu Ghana so musumu be musis ganim enti mane di Ghana bobra Ghana ni e broke oni kapre enti ya minority for na e boma ni e broke no na ye majority for no ye bu say wo be den yesika e dey Ghana ho bra. At Forson say obekate on our expenditure. You are spending too much on nonsense. You difficult to say sikano rough nyafu. Sa ti on oba. You Ghana spending so no be twam. Na watete so. Say be ya say sikana e waste na e ko be na nigu ase e ko no. Ye dey no be Ghana ho bra. Nti Ghana ehia say the new taxes ebeba. Ansa na Ghana ti mabobra. Agina se brane se Ghana man a obetenamu a obonya asundwie na de oye bia so be yama na yi atofo san nanum sem.
The removal of these taxes will ease the burden on households and improve their disposable income. Right, Honorable Speaker, the removal of these taxes will ease the burden on households and improve their disposable incomes. In addition, it will support business growth and improve tax compliance.
Very good, Abiba. Ato force in that church and so a naked truth on Oboga Trends. Didn't that say Mazimilian? Subscribe, like, and share. We so have comments into comment section. I say, e-levy versus Dumsor. There ain't any draconian tax. There ain't any tax. Who say, you introduce here na against the will, the wish, and the desire of the people. Bakwa tax bakwa not the people of Ghanaians. Na you hate it with all core and with all passion. Emu de e-levy and I say a D-levy. Ghana is a funny country. Ato force in church and some say anya dia tax for biaba no. And then after say cedi from 16 to 17 Ghana cedis, abedu 10 cedis 27 pesos. And then fuel at some point then fuel number around 16 cedis. And then fuel ya tete so emane number around 12 cedis 27 pesos. Oh Ghana ya tede. Enti we dey nkan ma chase koyi amanfo te omomo so amanfo te nwa so amanfo te fish so amanfo te even dokono so lord frey ya chase tete so ebi yente so wiye di Ghana for and drivers ni be ko Ghana for ni traders ni bi da so amoko say ebeduru be bia nka ebenya uniform price na Ghana obi atene boss because the dollar is dropping, the fuel is dropping. It say affecting the price of goods and commodities and services. Now Eban is saying out of blue mood, majority in parliament, led by Mahama, we invite a member of parliament or side the finance minister, castle at 2 force in some parliament or by or Ghana for Akaba, maybe task for Fraba, task for Nabano, energy commission, energy amendment commission act. Hey, na yesu frɛ o adan ya o ye ba beji sika kitu bi afri Ghana for na sika ba beji nna ne sɛ auto 1 liter of fuel bia na ye 12 cedis 27 pesos na Ghana ban beji 1 cedi nti be ko we bia 13 cedis 27 pesos mon kai sɛ na eda 16 ana ya daroma ya defe dollar na ni cedi na ana adu this limit nti sa dia mon fa ne sɛ mo te government 1 cedi na tell mo te government 1 cedi no ye botae ne sɛ ye wo Dumsor eda yanim a ye mpese be ha ya to aso ache. So what do we do? The say ne say ese Ghana fo ye boy ho ban na ye boy ho busua bi say yenim say sika semo nye yakọ IMF yakọ sika na yakọ akọje no ayade ye be ha ye say ka se ye twen ama IMF na wi a ye be wi ne power kora ye ni bi e wo Ghana ha nti monte ase na yenye obi a 1 Ghana obi otofu obi na gina 1 Ghana nti say wo to 10 liters a 10 Ghana and ye wo say wo to 20 liters a 20 cedis and ye wo wo to 400 liters a 400 cedis and ye wo ndi ye ji say sikai ni de akoto futu mu aboa ma ka amemene the energy sector no ye de atete so na aboa ma yeti manya the energy a ebeduma power ama Ghana 24/7 ye the light mu no obi an complain dum so.
To help raise additional revenue to fund the needs in the power sector, the government is proposing an increase in export price of petrol, diesel, and related products. The impact will be absorbed by the gains made from the strong performance of the Ghana cedis. The Speaker, I repeat, the impact will be absorbed by the gains made from the strong performance of the Ghana cedis. And this will mean that consumers will not have to pay extra for the price of petrol and diesel beginning today. Right, Honorable Speaker, our simulations suggest that there will be no increase in the export price of petrol and diesel in the next window beginning today if the levy is imposed. This is because of a strong Ghana cedi. Right, Honorable Speaker, the levy will serve as a dedicated source of funding to the power sector, and the proceeds will be earmarked for the procurement of essential fuel for power generation. The Speaker, this will ensure that Ghana enjoys stable electricity.
Inti when in sama castle at Forson go kind of parliament. O we na majority leader in parliament. Papa your friend Mahama yerega. Esoka say Ghana for esrem wate. Ye jimu 1 cedi ekome ba ko pe guda 1 cedi. Mon fa ncheye. Na ye fa solve dum so na ye forever and ever. Say be adabi mbe so emma president for mama enka say o face the friend dum so consequences. Emre bia so say twam awo dum so ho. Inti momwaye na so ye moamo. Monnom ye na momo ye 1 cedi. Na emfa mbo ye ho bai.
What is before us is the Energy Sector Levy Amendment Bill. And basically, it is saying that Ghanaians should give 1 cedi, one Ghana cedi each, when they buy a liter of fuel, so that we can end Dumsor. That's all. 1 cedis. All of us should contribute 1 cedis. Just 1 cedi per, so that we can end Dumsor. 1 cedi. Each of us, when we buy fuel, 1 liter.
The prices are going down.
1 cedi. And Mr. Speaker, it is not e-levy.
Oye no Haruna Idrisu su kasa fa ho se nkwanya mianim nie minority for no kasa bebre na kasa mo kasa no nte ase because Dumsor yi de be ye west no under the NPP administration. In fact NDC for call Esla na ye energy sector levy ye twatu ho Ghana fo ye twia be sinde after the toll levy toll no na ye say eno na ye energy sector ye di ebo ho ban sa sika na ye twa no be 20 years. Yewe ne ka se yate Esla NDC for na beti ye yensantwe sto hofro NDC AC fra kunya so no na $6 billion ana omja to ho MPP for buy na kaida sector ho no 3 billion according to MPP NDC for interest ka no ana omudi usika no monum nyafu omo wie 6 billion na asa 3 billion so ka mo antwia ne ka so ho no ne ka ketwa enti Haruna Idrisu say Ghana for mo fanche na mo no me na mo e 1 cedi ne solve problem once and for all say bia aban bia ba on face this situation nti castle at Forson Mahama ayarga Haruna Idrisu all stating the facts and the reasons why Ghana for say ye boto yeyem ne agitum abrachi ne bie ni ho say the energy sector levy now person mo de ba no e be di atum na 1 Ghana per liter no o meji ye no mo de Ghana e de idum so a solve situation no kama na we no na MPP communication director Richard Ahiagwa we votarian man for say first nka votarian there the likely so be this year high but we votarian here oye MPP ni mapa odim tintima omko a okobi omka okabi na later now try near tintinti ma mebo na to fakakra or say the NDC Mahama government has introduced a new levy that is worse. Now tell you because me naked truth in there I have 4 talking points. First talking point we the finance minister to Forson Mahama Yerga the 1 cedi any Haruna Idrisu the education minister also pleading with Ghanaians say entiase no eno ye number 1. Number 2 Richard Ahiagwa the conversation all having with the NDC regarding the energy levy or say the NDC Mahama government has introduced a new levy that is worse than the e-levy, better known as the energy sector Dumsor Levy, purportedly to stabilize the power supply. This is not what the NDC Mahama 2024 campaign promised Ghanaians. They promised to scrap taxes and not raise new taxes to burden or worsen conditions for Ghanaians. As it stands, the NDC has failed to deliver on the promise to 1 scrap list of taxes, the COVID-19 levy, which they argued has outlived its essence, is still being collected. Number 2, not to raise taxes. The 2025 budget introduced new taxes, and now this draconian, all-encompassing energy sector Dumsor Levy. This is a betrayal of historic proportion, or shall we say unprecedented deceit of the Ghanaian people in the history of this 4th republic. This energy sector Dumsor Levy is nuisance levy. Now, it goes on and on and on and on and on, but then he asks a question, what have we done, Mr. President? Mr. President, why are you not renegotiating the harmful power purchase agreement signed in your first term to ease the debt pressure on the energy sector? Why are you transferring the inefficiency of your government to Ghanaians in this draconian and harsh levy? At this rate, Where Ayensima Richard Ahiagwa Kanye, we no Dennis Abuaje, ana onu na lead the communication team. Edema Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer, Edema the New Patriotic Party, and also the former Vice President of Ghana. Or say NDC for the Amudia Bay, Moamon Kanokre, Monfere. You promised no tax, but you have ended up with a tax percentage that's 10% higher than the 1% na e-levy. A higher percentage than the percentage na e-levy. 1%. And it's hard to know we Ghana for someone. Are you? We are going to say the Dennis about this okay, but before that, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer for the the New Patriotic Party, and possibly in 2028, he might also be the flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party. I don't know, because he said race now tough, but then Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia showed intention clear, so better contested. Or say Ghana for some say MPP for nenye, mo guy send another catcher mo say prosperity will judge us all. Prosperity will decide whether or not another or say Ghana for ye and no answer ye. At that time, no or no, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was a vice president, so he is a witness to that. Mo say e-levy nenye, once the no na amamu here mo bre mo kyerɛ mu. NDC for be share mo boda ada mo ka kyerɛ mo say e-levy no mo betwam. Okay, ampa mo mo twa e-levy no. But mo twa e-levy no omo di D-levy, Dumsor Levy, and about 10 times higher. Just like Dennis Abuaje kind, just like Richard Ahiagwa kind, you know. Almost say 10 times higher. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say 10 times higher. What's the first no e-levy? Who cost any 1,000 Ghana, you have to 10 cedis. And then Dumsor Levy, who got a fuel of 1,000 Ghana cedis, Yanto Clan 83 Ghana cities. And between 10 cities and 83 cities. If I saw say no 73 Ghana. Tika MPP time anka atadwen ka what there. But mo prem ho saa chese ade mu hu so hwe yinti madwen say ye. Na Mahama yeso de nka munim na dase nka onye. Bohum na wie ye nie. Yenkotie ye wie a Dennis Aboaje ensimo kan any Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia enso sema waka against that of Castle at Forson, the finance minister, Mahama Yerga, the majority leader, and Haruna Duso, former majority leader, and now the Minister of Education for Ghana. The vis-a-vis, the NDC, MPP, E-Levy versus Dumsor. The fight is on.
NDC for Omuchan Trobebre. Every day, Opie Entra Omuchan. And Rana Jo, somebody in Amo. Omo di Dumsor Levy aba. Dumsor Levy. Dumsor Levy. So first no say E-Levy. Na yedi aba. Omo be E-Levy no omo be yi. And then omo di Dumsor Levy aba. It is 8 times the E-Levy. Omo ansusu anye o. And then uto 1 liter of petrol. 1 cedi na ubetia. Uto 1,000 cedis of petrol ubetia 83 cedis. 83 cedis as tax. E-Levy no usende obi 1,000 momwa ubetia 10 cedis. Omu and then ubetia 4,000 ubetia 83 cedis for fuel. We nimina. More beba. By the time you be do 2028 no, Ghana nyina be hu say umutwa antro bebre. Mimi gidi say umubeka nkyere yen say yensan ba biom embefa aban no ensiesie Ghana.
I'm hurt this morning. I am pained. I am really pained. I am sad. There is nothing, there is no gravest offense in this world than betrayal of trust. None in this world, no sin in this world beats betrayal of trust. That people entrust their lives and their future in your care, believing that you will live at least up to your own words. Forget eventualities, forget things that will come along the line, but what you told them. Then we wake up 5 months into your tenure, you come and tell us that you have brought the burden of Ghanaians down. That is what he's saying, that he has brought the burden of Ghanaians down. And so we should, in the words of the majority leader, Mahama Yariga, Honorable, we should accept just 1 cedi. He calls it 1 cedi per. 1 cedi per. That's what he calls it. That's what he says we should give them, to fix a situation that was not there until they came.
All right, nti yati people for society we. Nti mamemra. Let me know the 4 talking points of my naked truth. Haha! Edino da so a maxi billion. Yes. Show that so a naked truth over no old burger trends. Making sure say over subscribe, over like it. Now what share among you, but before that, just comment into comment section and say E-Levy versus Dumsor, NDC versus MPP, John Dramani Mahama versus Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, Jenana Mensah versus Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Say, and a permutation the TNT Lotto. But the truth shall set you free. The first points of our naked truth. The NDC government, led by John Dramani Mahama, and then with the help of Castle at Forson, the finance minister, the majority leader in parliament, Mahama Yerga, and a very respectable figure in parliament, Haruna Idrisu, former majority leader in parliament and currently the Minister of Education. According to Omu argument, Omu have Idiama Ghana for say, yes, Ghana for say, Yentiase, na for 1 cedi. Just 1 cedi. And Franka liters ayetono. Na auto liter of petrol for 12 cedis. Now, I got 13 cedis because you are paying extra 1 cedi as a levy. With that, it will say a extra burden. But to the NDC, fuel was in a range of 16, 15 cities, and normally about 12 cities. In the young family say, and as we 16 or 15 cities, and a when you one city, in the ateso, and when you one city, and they become in the Kada Oboni na everyone say one city because you are paying more than that. That's the NDC argument. Again, the exact amount of money you here per the year, and I say the amount a project is omenya, according to John Jinapo, say omenya about 5 to 6 billion Ghana cedis, which according to John Jinapo, energy minister, say even in not sufficient, enough. Until with that, I say Ghana for cry, I say you mobile and the idea, sir. Mahama Yerega said we should accept and sacrifice one city, and yet I one city pay. Castle to force one catch Ghana for say own fat tax for Biamba because Ghanaians does not need new taxes to survive. Why are you trying to be so much of a political person? Because I see I know anything for no crowd. We are about seeing people different. Say whatever Mahama said in the last 5 months, my exhibitor practiced that. I mean, say, look, maybe for the first time since the days of Kwame Nkrumah, we can have hope on an elected president that obey the bidding and the wish and the desire of the people, but not himself. You have promised there won't be new taxes. Good. Also, you have introduced a policy called Operation Recover All Loot. I was just a teacher man for teacher man to me. Can for that have been declared by Interpol some form on Fanambra. Charles BC. And then the Osu Yadia Tum say, or from I say, getting to but say a plea deal Nintino. Obetria 200,000 Ghana cedis. So certain things is happening. We understand, we know. So if all this money is going to come from Aura, any yenim say adubuai, the National Signal Bureau, Penina, Yachina is so squander 49 million Ghana cedis, and the equivalent to $7 million at that time now. He owns the energy ministry. He owns ECG. And you know, there's also others, including government institutions or more the ECG foreca, including some shady deals are ECG for the sign. We all know all these things. This is public knowledge. The Attorney General is holding those dockets. Most of them promise Ghana for say you recover all loot, and that will substitute your taxes. So how come? What happened? All of a sudden you think Ghanaians out of blue moon should cough out one city? Look, I said John Mahama ne kasa to force ne this for moya itrim do. Mon sorry, madam, sorry. Wake up. John Dramani Mahama 2012 to 2016. The dollar now would die not to a city was 4 Ghana. Ghanaians said it was hardship, an extreme hardship. You are impoverishing them. You are putting them to abject poverty. And the 4 Ghana no, uga say 10 Ghana no, better 10 4 Ghana home. The 4 Ghana was worse according to Ghanaians. And all of a sudden you think, and then what catch the Ghana for say, when the finance minister and bank, governor of Bank of Ghana, Asia Makotana Sekudi Nkomono, you three have decided that the real value of the cedi should be in between 10 to 12 cedis per the dollar. Why not catch them, sir? You are trying to have a balance between an export and import. I agree. According to the Gold Board stats, I bet down say we have made about 2.7 billion US dollars. We are clapping for the Gold Board. They have done well. That's a good initiative. Cocoa Board have generated 1.9 billion dollars. Yes, fantastic. This is something that we are looking for. But when you cocoa now we're exporting around, then amount of cocoa we are going to import back to the country is going to be more than that amount. The amount of golden products, from jewelry to a friend saying rings to phones to whatever we use gold to make, country will be more than the amount of 2.7 billion. Aside that, about 80% of our foodstuffs yakra, including akoko. Nkoko kra ni yakra, koko fos. So meaning we import more than we export. I don't even know why we think the $10 and the $12 was even okay. Then the next conversation is now we have also reduced the fuel from 16 to 12. Therefore, we find it interesting that Ghanaians are so relieved and they are doing so much okay. So we want to burden them with another 1 cedi per liter. And at the end of the day, the people you said you are releasing them from burden, you are now putting back burden to them. The fuel you left as 7 Ghana cedis. I say, what my fool buy there no. You think 12 cedis is a God gift or miracle? The dollar you left per cedi for 4 cedis to dollar is now 10. And you say that's the strength of the cedi. Because of now what time now you're importing. When the dollar was 4 cedis, were we not importing in this country? Huh? Mahama, were we not importing in this country? But nothing happened with that. We sacked you, voted you out for about 1 million votes. At that time, the biggest margin in our election year. I President Bide Lucy. And we became the first president who never had the 8 terms. And the 8 years. The 2 terms, you never got it. Because we felt the dollar to 4 cedis outrageous. It doesn't make sense. We felt the fuel being at 7 cedis was astronomical figures. That does not make sense. So I don't know where this trim there is coming from. Why you think that you can promise Ghanaians that no new taxes will be added into their already burdensome life. Oba no sikase no da labor uniform 10%. Oba no the minimum wage unfa hwen kan ho. Minimum wage now is still 18 cedis. Eti game pa na yenya boroso ntia. Fu ayi mu kran driver fo nyentete so. Enyani a nyobi na tete so. We are still not finding the effect in our pocket. And you're already trying to give us another burden. I think the NDC have to recover the loot. The amount of money that have gone waste at the energy sector currently is being reported, and I'm way back around 5-6 billion US dollars. Now, it's amount that can kill every cabinet dying chain. I'm a better energy. It's more than any amount of 1 cedi the Ghana will be contributed by buying a liter of fuel. So why are you not recovering those loot? Or an on sanka or the amount of engine and more trending. Oh, a friend is saying, OSP, almost all the state institutions here, what are paying them for? The OSP in Kwanji 146 million Ghana cedis. Doing what? Recover those loot. Ghanaians are not ready to be paying some nonsense taxes at the end of the day. Some more opposition and can you call that same taxes and it's nuisance? That's my first one. The second one, the least people we expect to make this noise, MPP. Richard Ahiagwa, you said to worsen the already burdensome. So you agree that the MPP was punishing us. You agree that whatever the MPP was doing with the e-levy was nonsense. But your video ne da way. Ahanta West MP Kuju Honorable Kuju ye fano every hospital every area and beto about so onto abama e-levy. Your fake identity of address afwa kofa obi foforo e clone nipa foforo e be share home the extreme we went to pass e-levy. Now we say what you to say a burden. You have agreed that it was a burden. Yankupon Kwani Odo. Any truth still. Oroboga transcending that same Maxibillion. Subscribe it, like and share. Who is so make sure to be there comment no. At the comment section I say. Richard Ayagba. Mucha e-levy cake. Apart from e-levy cake, moye e-levy cake party. All this nonsense went under MPP. And someone from the MPP is talking about D-levy, Dumsor Levy, the energy levy. Mumma Ghana from Kasa, na mun twa so mun MPP for mun come on to. The kind of suffering you made us suffer for the 8 years. What are you talking about? So you are accepting the fact that the e-levy was a burden. So the Dumsor is the Dumsor levy, the energy levy that you call the Dumsor levy is now bigger than the e-levy. For that reason, we should assume and pretend. Abba, Richard Ayagwa. And Kasabiu, oh, yamo record, men Kasabiu, no crassa. Chum. Dennis Abuaje, now Dennis Abuaje, hey. What's the more time? Dumsensi, Komusa, Napo, Ebusa, Napo interview. Napo, when is the Dumsor timetable coming? No guys ain't got prepared, you know. He acknowledged there was power outrages in certain areas, but in name, we are all in Ghana here. We saw it live and physical and colored. How many times in any day? So you can't pretend. We also cannot pretend the Eslam money. How much for us to deal in the sales? $6 billion. No, come for us to decent amount to account for. We can also not pretend about the toll levy and how much money count. The money and for maso. So if we can count all this, name said Dumsor time. Why are you talking about the NDC? The NDC is trying to solve the Dumsor that you prefer to say more so. One so or no so and one man so ano. Young Ghana for say NTS man enter here. More people before number no. Do me semo NDC is cano. Information eduman.